This is an Action 4 24/7 weather special presentation. Hurricane season, time to prepare. Brought to you by Shepherd Walton King Insurance Group.
Hurricane season 2014 is here. The official forecast and what it could potentially mean for the valley.
Plus, are you prepared if a storm were to hit now? Tonight, how one family gets prepared and why you should put a plan in place.
And how staying safe from the storm just got a little easier.
Good evening and thanks so much for joining us for your Hurricane Preparedness Special for the 2014 Atlantic hurricane season. I'm Chief Meteorologist Brian Hale, along with 24/7 weather team members, meteorologist Victoria Marshall and weathercaster Brett Crandall. What exactly does the 2014 Atlantic hurricane season have in store for the Rio Grande Valley? Although we don't know until it plays out, many meteorologists are counting on El Nino flaring up in the Pacific this year, which will cut the number of storms considerably.
Regardless of the outlook right now, it's important to get prepared for the unexpected.
And that includes a family and pet emergency plan, workplace and school plans. Begin by creating an evacuation route. That includes a place to stay. But most importantly, an emergency kit is key, especially when riding out the storm.
You've heard the old saying, telling us never to put off to tomorrow what you can do today. One Valley family lives by those words, and they are ready for hurricane season 2014. Gina Garza is certain she and her family are ready for the next hurricane. She, her husband Mike, and their two sons, Michael and Julian, live in Harlingen. The Garzas weathered Hurricane Dolly just fine in 2008, while their house has been standing up to storms since before Hurricane Beulah.
We've always been a very proactive family, so that's one of the things that we pride ourselves on. Being from the valley and having previous experience with hurricanes, we know what to do, and it's just a matter of getting it done in a timely manner before we're put in a predicament.
Preparedness is all about managing liability, and this family has plenty. With a house, 3 dogs, 2 cats, and a nutty bird named Mariposa.
Come on.
Dad also worries about the house and what a major storm might do to it.
More so the windows, just, projectiles. If it breaks the window, there's nothing you can do. You can cover the window, but water's still going to go in, wind and rain.
Planning ahead saves lives and money. And after all, a good deal is always a good deal.
Well, we're always looking for sales. That's one of the big things. Of course, during summer, air conditioners are not on sale, but in the fall, they are. So we're always looking for those opportunities, clearance, closeout.
Covering the plate glass windows may not be enough. If a Category 4 or 5 heads this way, the Garzas say they'll head the other way.
I think as adults, we didn't let the children know too much because, of course, they were very nervous and, the impending doom and what was going to happen. But we did have a backup plan in case we were put in that predicament.
So where are you in the planning process? Are you like the Garzas, or are you going to ride the human wave flooding into your favorite grocery store just hours before a potential hurricane makes landfall? We want to show you some of the items you need in your emergency supply kit, including enough water or food to last 72 hours. Canned, non-perishable items like peanut butter, whole grain cereals, and juices are suggested. Don't forget the can opener. Also, prescription medications and a first aid kit, that's essential. As well, batteries, chargers, a whistle, and a NOAA weather radio, among other things. Also, be sure to have cash on hand.
Did you know there are different types of insurance policies that cover various aspects of your home in the event of a natural disaster?
Hurricane season is here. Raul Cavazza with Shepherd Walton King Insurance Group in McAllen, Harlingen, and Austin is making sure you stay protected. Once a storm hits the Rio Grande Valley, a line of destruction can be left behind. To secure your livelihood, it is best to be insured. Cavazza's first tip: know what type of policy you are buying and what it includes.
You need to be real careful with that because they'll sell you insurance policies that are just basically a fire policy, or they'll sell you a homeowner's policy that doesn't include windstorm insurance, and you need to be paying attention to that. You need the windstorm insurance in our area.
Buyers beware, windstorm insurance is not always included in your policy, and flood is also separate, so be sure to ask a lot of questions.
When a storm is reaching the eastern coast of Florida, when that eye of the storm gets there, insurance companies do not write insurance anymore. It goes into a moratorium phase until the storm is passed. You could buy flood insurance, but there's a 30-day waiting period.
Tip 2, if you already have insurance, reevaluate it. Know its limits, make sure you have enough to rebuild. Evaluate if you are paying too much. And be sure you know and understand your deductible.
A lot of times it's the first time people look at their insurance policies, and that's when they find out what their deductibles are. So my advice is to be very familiar with your deductibles, especially when it comes to a windstorm or a hailstorm.
When disasters like these strike, it's hard to recall what's inside your home. So Shepherd Walton King recommends everyone take video or pictures of what's inside their home and keep the receipts. All documents and videos should be kept in a sealed, waterproof bag. When it comes to getting insurance quotes,
there's no rule of thumb for that as far as the difference, other than when overall they're going to look at the construction of a home, the age of a home, the repair of a home, the location of that home, and the occupancy of that home.
Your credit rating may also affect how much you have to pay.
That your claim experience has something to do with it too, and your credit rating has something to do with it too.
The big takeaway this season is know that hurricanes could blow a big deductible your way. So know your policy. Also, if you're shopping for insurance,
they need to explain to you what the coverage is. They need to talk to you about the limits of insurance on your house, on your contents. They need to explain deductibles to you. And so you need to find someone who's knowledgeable.
Shepherd Walton King are the sponsors of this year's Hurricane Special. They can be reached at 956-682-2841.
There are also steps you can take to make filing a claim easier for you. You can keep track of your contents by creating a home inventory. Be sure by taking photos or video, and keep documentation of valuables with receipts, credit card statements, and appraisals. Some of the items you'll want to focus on include jewelry, furniture, electronics, antiques, art, and other high-dollar assets.
Right now is the time to stock up or replace items that may have expired in your existing kit with new ones. We put together a shopping list and headed to a local grocery store. Right now, around $63 is the projected cost of that kit. Store managers say recommend you will purchase items throughout the year, and in order to avoid a huge expense in one trip, they say you don't want to rush there just before the storm.
You don't want to wait and try looking for these things when the crowds are out in the stores.
Again, here's a quick look at that breakdown of the cost. It's also important to remember as storms approach, staples like water sell out very quickly.
Action 4 News is teaming up again with Home Depot to help you stay ahead of the storm. We're giving away a storm bucket containing some essentials that you're going to need to protect your home from the elements. That includes flashlights, batteries, a tarp, bungee cords, and more. Head to valleycentral.com now to register for your chance to win. Now, if a storm makes it to tropical storm or hurricane status, you're going to want to stay up to date on the latest emergency management advisories, and 211 Texas can help. Dial the number to access information for thousands of local, state, and national health and human resource departments. That includes government assistance evacuating for those with special needs, disabilities, or those in need of transportation. To register for help, simply call 211 and be prepared to provide some basic information like your name, address, phone number, and emergency contact.
Speaking of evacuations, more on routes and some changes coming to your area in your 24/7 Hurricane Special, including
having to bring in, a massive amount of buses to evacuate people. That didn't work that well.
A look at new structures that could allow a select group of Valley residents a safer way to ride out storms. Plus, when technology fails, how will you know what is happening? We talked to a group of local radio operators whose purpose is to keep communication open.